Hey everyone, welcome back to another book review. So today I will be previewing my top 5 book recommendations in honor of Black History Month. But before we dive in, I do just want to speak to the importance of why we are acknowledging Black History Month. So it started in 1926 as Negro History Week, pioneered by Dr. Charter G. Woodson, and it was not celebrated as a month-long celebration until 1976 with the help of President Ford. And it was chosen in February to coincide with when Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln celebrated their birthdays. Frederick Douglass, a former slave who fought for abolitionist rights, and he was an activist, and President Abraham Lincoln, who signed the Emancipation Proclamation freeing slaves. So this month is really dedicated to uplifting Black voices, supporting Black creators. You can do that through exploring Black literature, Black music, whatever form of expression that you're into. With that in mind, let's get started. Okay, so I'll start by Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson. This is a childhood memoir of a young Black girl growing up in the 1960s in South Carolina, and it really does raise themes of racial injustice and activism, and it's a really cool personal perspective. So I highly recommend this book, and it's also won many achievements. Okay, so you guys already know one of my personal favorites, A Promised Land, by President Barack Obama, the 44th president of the United States and the first African-American president. This book is a political memoir of his political career and time as president, but it also sheds light on Black experiences and emphasizes on Black culture. So, highly recommend. Okay, Caste, The Origins of Our Discontent by Isabel Wilkerson. So this is a novel exploring our country's socio-political unrest through an explanation of the American caste system and based off American inequality and social stratification. So this is a really neat perspective and brings up some really cool concepts. Okay. The New Jim Crow. This is one of my personal favorites by Michelle Alexander, released in 2010. I can go on and on, but I'll keep it brief. So this book is on systemic racism, and specifically the prison system and how Black men are disproportionately affected by mass incarceration and police brutality. If you've ever seen the movie The 13th Amendment, named after the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, but as we can still see, systemic racism takes place in other forms and to oppress minority groups, specifically the Black community. And this book really explains one of the forms of systemic racism, which is mass incarceration. And I've done a lot of research on this, so I do just want to bring context into it. Mass incarceration in our prison system is really a huge problem. If you didn't know, America spends more money on the prison system and keeping people in prison and inmates than it does on education and sending a child to college. So there's just a paper I did. I'm just gonna read out a few statistics from the Marshall Project. From the Marshall Project, the United States spends more than $80 billion each year to keep roughly 2.3 million people behind bars. And this is the part about education in the prison system, the drastic comparison. California is especially notable because as one of the worst states, California invests $64,642 per prisoner compared to $11,495 per student. So these are very jarring numbers, and it really does highlight the flaws right now, especially in the prison system. Okay, so the last book is A Black Woman's History of the United States, and this book explores the relationship between Black women and their role and experiences in the United States and the history behind it. So I'll just read a quick little sentence from the big introduction. To write a history about the United States from the perspective of a Black woman is to chart a course where the incredible, the fantastic, and the triumphant meet, mix, and mingle, often simultaneously, with hardship and terror. Although it largely defies uniformity, African American women's history is marked by the ways we have marched forward against all odds to effect sustained change individually, locally, and nationally. So this book brings up some really neat and in-depth topics, so I highly recommend it. So that is all I have for you today. Go forth, go explore Black creators, Black authored books, any form of expression, and happy Black History Month, and thank you so much for watching.